So the first Nordberg, he's a big kid that can skate and has really good puck skills. He plays with a little bit of an edge as well. So the only thing I don't know if we'll be able to get him into camp this week, but we have a couple of options for him for next year as well. One option may be in North America, so that's kind of a couple of things we'll look at, over the next couple of weeks, of course, to help him with that. But we're pretty excited about the upside of this kid. This kid has plenty of upside, both and kind of in all three zones of the ice. So he can defend and he can contribute offensively. So we're excited about Nordberg. Pedersen's a right winger. He does have size as well. He's a kid that his skating has improved immensely over the course of the season. Shoots the puck really hard. Goes to all the areas that you want somebody to go to score goals, and he's a quality kid. So I think the overall package for this kid, we could get some goal scoring from him, and we can get some size and some net front presence and some ability to win some pucks along the wall in the offensive zone. Quality kid, so he'll play hard in all three zones as well. Hamera is a mobile, puck-moving guy, very calm, very efficient in his game, and he does play the game hard as well. He can defend. It's just that he's a 6-foot guy, so he's smart enough to understand that he's not there to pound bodies. He's there to move pucks, and he does it extremely well. Halliday is an older kid that's coming out of the USHL, and he'll go to Ohio State next year. Offensive numbers are if you check them, you're going to see the offensive numbers are big. Like he's offensive. He has high offensive abilities. He's a bigger kid as well. And he's just a kind of a kid that we've kind of kept an eye on over the last, and we just kind of like where he's at right now. We felt, the offense is important, and going into college, he's going to play a larger role right off the hop here. So we're excited about the offense that this kid's going to bring. Jorian Donovan, Jorian. We would have considered even taking him a little bit earlier, just based on the skating and the puck skills, not because of who his dad is, but just based on the kid and his upside. I fear for the kid a little bit because I don't want him to ever feel like he's picked because of his dad. He just on our list, legitimately, he was in the ballpark for in that area and probably just before that. He's just a kid that unfortunately got tied up with a team that was very, very good, and they won. They won the Ontario Championship. So ice time and available ice time for him was a little bit hard to come by. But he is a good kid. He's a hard-working kid, and so we think there's plenty of upside, and he'll get plenty of opportunity to show more of what his strengths are in the upcoming season. The O'Neill kid is, he's a kid that was in prep school. He'll go to the USHL and then on to college as well. And he's a kid with offensive upside, and he plays the game hard as well. So I know you're kind of seeing the theme here, but the reality is if a kid doesn't play hard, they don't ever reach their potential. So it is a theme for us, and it's not hard to figure out. And I think you've seen enough over the recent years that it is an area that we focus in on as far as the scouting staff. But there's a lot of qualities there. This is a kid that's going to take a little bit of time, but we're comfortable with that because we do have some prospects, and we can afford to wait a little bit longer on him. The Radler kid, the goalie, he played under 18 in Sweden, so you're not going to find a ton of information on him because he played under 18 in Sweden, but he is a big kid with a lot of ability in the net. Our scouts like him. Our both Zach Burke and Justin Peters have a lot of time for his game as well. There's no rush on his game. He's scheduled to play U20 next year and some Allsvenskan League level. So we're just gonna, it's gonna be slow and steady for this kid, and we, based on our circumstance in net right now, we can afford to wait. So we're excited, with what the package brings. And when we had the meetings with Zach Burke and Justin Peters, they were, this is one of the guys that they kind of identified as someone that they really liked as well. So just made it that much easier to do. And we had the multiple picks in the 5th round. So for us, we didn't necessarily have to take a goalie in this draft, but it was one that, based on the number of picks we had, it made sense for us if we felt there was somebody with that much upside to pick them then. The Wahlberg, he's a bigger kid but skates extremely well. Like he's probably, as defenseman come in this draft, he's probably one of the stronger skaters in this draft. A lot of puck skills. His game is that he's just a little bit inconsistent, we'll say. But if he hits on the offense and based on the skating, I think we're gonna, there's a ton of potential there. Tyson Dick, he's out in Cranbrook, put up real good offensive numbers. He'll go to UMass. So we're excited about that because obviously there's a little connection there as well with UMass, and in the fact that we know he's going to be well coached and we know what kind of opportunity he's going to get. But it's an offensive kid that skating will have to come a little bit. But he's a hard-working kid, and actually when our guys reached out to him, he was ready to jump on the ice. So he said, sorry, Mr. Farger, I have to jump on the ice. He said, well, we understand, but you might want to give us a couple of minutes on that one. So that's the type of kid that we know already that he's working hard at it and looking to get better. So I think that rounds it out. But that's the quick synopsis of each of those guys. But we feel we it's a little bit D heavy, but not planned. Just circumstance of the draft and players where they were at the time, and so that's how it went. Glad we were able to get a goalie out of this year. I think that's helpful down the road. But these are all players, college. Obviously there's several on the college side of it that does buy us more time as well. I mean, did it come into play in some circumstances? It's an add-on for us. It's just a benefit of buying us some time for some of the kids that may need it.
You traded that first-round pick, but you still had lots of draft capital, right? So I mean, your scouts leave the table today feeling pretty good.
Absolutely, and the scouts were on board with what we did yesterday. I mean, how often do you get a 40-goal scorer? So our scouts, they're like everyone else in the organization, everyone else in the city of Ottawa. We want we want to win, and it's time to start winning, and obviously. DeBrincat will help with that, that movement. So, that was a positive thing for us yesterday. Even though as a scout you didn't get to pick the player, but like you said, we had plenty of draft that we're going to be okay.
When you were debating picking Jorian Donovan, did you at all through the process did you pick Sean's brain at all, or did you just leave him out of it because it's awkward? And
no, it is. Now, there was a conversation I had with Sean, and I just said, listen, first of all, what do you want us to do? Like, he's in a certain spot in the draft, and we're willing to pick him, and we like a lot of the tools that he has. So what do you want to do? And he said, listen, it's completely up to you guys. You guys do what you have to do. If you pick him, I know that you picked him because you like him, and you're not doing me a favor. He goes, that part I trust you. I said, well, absolutely. So we're good. Then when we met with Jorian, I have to hats off to the kid because he could have said, listen, I just don't want to do that. But the first thing he said, I'm not worried what other people are going to say about it. He said, it's a big deal for me to play in my home city. I'm from Ottawa, and to be drafted by the Ottawa Senators would be an honor. What more? It's a quality family, right? So it's not just the fact that he has some ability on the ice. He's a quality kid who works at it hard. Obviously, I did the checks, from the strength and conditioning and anybody that works with him that's not his dad. And it's always so positive, and I do know the family quite well, and it's just it's just it's a good family. So he's been well brought up, and he's going to work at it. So
on the Nordberg kid, you talk about some potential options for him to come over. Would that, junior, obviously, or what are you?
Well, there's some options. It may be a USHL option and a college scenario as well for him. So we'll weigh that out, moving forward here over the next few days, and we want to find out clearly from him and his agent exactly what they've kind of been working on in the background. In what way they're leaning, or what preference and why, and then obviously we'll have some input on that as well. So we'll work on that over the next few days.
And out of this group, how many do you think realistically could be there for development camp next week?
Right now we do have confirmation from Pedersen. Hamera is here, so he's coming. Halliday, Donovan, for sure. Radler did confirm, and Dick did confirm. So there are 6 of the 9 for sure, like right at this moment that I can tell you for sure. Now, in a couple hours, I will be able to confirm more of that. But it could be as much as 8 of the 9. It may just be the one player. So.
Are you assistant GM organizing some other organizational stuff? How much interest was there out there for Matt Berry? How much talk was going to
Well, no. I mean, obviously, what was out a couple of days ago. You know that those conversations are taking place and they continue to take place. So there is interest out there, and I think we have to explore all options for the Ottawa Senators. What's best for the Ottawa Senators moving forward, and that in the end, it is a business, and it just. That's the situation, and Matt. It's not like he doesn't know. He's aware, and we're aware. And eventually, if there's a deal there that helps the Ottawa Senators and gives him a different opportunity, then there's no reason not to do that. I don't believe so.